Well, welcome back to another episode of Hot Rod Guy Garage. Today, I drug Project Phoenix out. It's on the other side of the garage right now. I'm actually standing where it sits. So, I'm going to flip the camera around. We're going to talk about a few things. And then we're going to go for a ride today. So, stay tuned. And alright guys, here is where Project Phoenix sits. And it is empty. So, I got it over here. I got tires aired up, made sure they were aired up. And just kind of going over some other things. I've not started it up. It is very, 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 very dusty. So, basically, you let stuff sit, it gets dusty. And dirty, especially if it sits, outside, which it doesn't, but it gets dusty. So, what I'm going to do, I've kind of lost interest in this thing, guys. So, it's sad, a little over a month, maybe a little more. We'll see if it'll fire up, and, we'll take this thing on a little ride and get it cleaned up a little bit. I might drive it next week, every day, so we'll see what happens here. So. Well, and typical of my luck lately, guess what else is broke? This is. Guess where I'm at? I'm sitting on the side of the road. Oil pressure started falling pretty bad on it, and until the point it got kind of to zero and the motor started making noise, so I turned it off. Well, I pulled over, turned it off for about 10 minutes, and then started it back up and had 80 pounds of oil pressure. Everything was normal. Drove a little further, and it kept dropping and dropping and dropping as I kept going. Well, I pulled over again, and now the starter's dragging, and even though it's charging good and the battery's charged up, I think our old starter's dead too. So I'm going to let this here and cool off a minute, and if I can get it started back, we'll see if we get any more oil pressure. But so far, not so good of a day. Not got no data on this one. Done a little tuning, but it's super not happy. So, just the way this stuff goes, guys. When it rains, it pours. Alright, so it's several hours later. I'm at home. Luckily, a buddy of mine come and got me off the side of the road. We had to haul it to the house. Still not started it back up. Battery was apparently dead after me trying to start it on the side of the road with the starter dragging. So I'm going to flip the camera around and we'll kind of go over some things. And alright, I got the battery out of it here, and it's been charging for a couple hours, and we're about 97%. So should be able to see if it'll start here in a minute. So, Project Phenoix still tore up. Transmission gave up the ghost yesterday. Not made a video on that. Super really not happy, kind of car wise. So if you got an automatic Geo Metro and you'd like to donate a transmission, reach out to me, because I need one. Transmission and torque converter. It's dead. And Project Phoenix is sitting here still. Wonderful thing is, it looks like it might rain. So, it's stuck out here in the driveway. Kind of blocking everything. So, got the battery out. And I preemptively come out here and pulled the engine cover off of it. Not really, not seeing no oil leaks or anything. So, Don't have no moisture under the cap. And the oil in it, you know, still looks good and clean. So we got one of two things going on with the oil pressure. It's not going to be an oil quality issue because this oil I run in everything, which is a Motul 5W40 synthetic direct excess. This thing does have a Wix oil filter on it, and it's down there, and it's fairly new. So this is like the second time I drove this car since I've changed the oil. As the door shuts on its own, you know, maybe the oil filter collapsed internally. Really don't have no other explanation other than maybe the oil pump relief valve sticking. Which, if you also remember, it's got a new oil pump in it. Because when I put this motor together, we put new lifters, new valve springs, new push rods, new rockers, timing chain, tensioner, oil pump, and we cleaned all the sludge out of the motor. The motor runs good and don't make no noise. But when it drops down to about 5 pounds oil pressure, you start hearing the valve train clatter in it, and that's when I cut it off. So, hopefully, guys, it's an oil filter. If not, it may be the end of this project, because I can't afford to fix it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it or make things seem like something they're not. I can't afford to fix this stuff, guys. You know, Project Free Throw, it was a project card that I never really expected to have. I can't fix it. If this is broke, it's done too. So basically, as stuff goes down, it's not going to go back up at this point. So I can swing a $5 oil filter. We'll see what'll happen. Alright, get the battery back in here. So let's see what we got, guys. It's going to be real time here, and we're going to see. Alright, so we got oil pressure at least. So I've not changed filter yet. I got to actually go get one. I wasn't going to go get one if it didn't have no oil pressure. So I guess I'll button this thing back up. I'll run to the parts store and grab an oil filter, and let's hope for the best. So, well, I know it's probably hard to hear, but so far so good. This thing's been running about 45 minutes. We got a 40-pound oil pressure at like 700 RPM, and you know, almost 80 at like the 3,800 RPM fuel cut. So far so good. I'm going to let it sit here and run a little longer, just to make sure, because I did run it drove it about an hour before the problem started happening before, so we'll run it about an hour and see. But I am going to cut that oil filter apart, have a look inside of it, and see if we can find out anything that may have been kind of a root cause here. So keep watching, guys, and if you like this kind of stuff, make sure you like this video and comment down below, and most importantly subscribe, because it keeps this stuff up on the YouTube algorithm. Alright, guys, I've run this thing about an hour and I've not lost no oil pressure, so that's positive. I want to drive a little bit more on the next sunny day. So I did take our Wix filter apart, and I'm going to show you something here. I don't know if you can see down in there, but we got some little black chunky stuff along with our bypass valve there. Well, our black chunky stuff is the glue on our filter. Our elements glued together. It's full of it here in the plates too. And, you know, this stuff's coming off in chunks, pretty much. There's another piece of the glue that come out of the filter. So basically, you know, your filter goes together. You get your filter, you get your little tube. It's supposed to keep it from collapsing. Where this one's in here doing this. And then you're glued to your little plate right here. Well, I had that backwards there. But little plate right there, and then you're supposed to have another little metal plate. And then this little filter sits down here. So basically, I'm pretty sure this filter screwed up. I don't know if you can see down there, but there's all kinds of pieces of glue chunks down in there that are coming out of the oil that's in it. So used to think Wix was good stuff, and I run down on my race stuff, and I guess it's the end of that, because I usually had a good thick case too, and you see I peeled this thing like a tin can off, so not good. So I probably should change the oil in that thing, but I'm not going to dump $60 worth of oil down the drain. So I'm going to run it like it is. And we'll just have to see what happens from here, guys. So hopefully you kind of got something out of this video, and you know, you enjoy it. I wish it would have been the video that I'd planned, but that didn't quite happen. So you just kind of take what you get and deal with it from there. So take a minute to like this video, share it with your friends, and most importantly, subscribe. And until then, we'll see you at the next video.